2 games done and dusted in the league. What are your thoughts of how it's opened up for you?
Yeah, and obviously you include the Sunderland game. It's been a decent start. I think there's been patches of what we've worked on throughout the summer, regardless of the formation, the patterns that we're working on. And then the obvious is the obvious, with obviously going 2 goals behind in 2 league games. But a decent start. I spoke to the players. We wanted to turn a decent start into a good start. At the minute, it's still just a decent start. We've got 2 home games coming, which we've got to play much more on the front foot from the minute go to be successful in them games.
What do you do in terms of trying to rectify that start, in you know, with 2 goals going against you both in the league? What do you do with your players?
Well, the first thing you've got to do is that everyone's got to be open and honest. If it's an individual mistake, and if we're talking in a collective, take that information on, you know, bounce it back between each other, and then also what we can do within a team to stop them occasions happening. Balls just into a front player, for example, where were we, what were we doing, reiterating the messages, because the messages have been there. It's just reiterating the messages to stop that happening. But what we've got to do is we've got to show more aggression, and I think them types of scenarios look after themselves a little bit. Yes, we played 2 decent teams for the start of the season, but if we play with just that little bit more aggressive front foot nature, I think you eradicate some of the goals that have gone in.
One big positive is that you played 180 minutes plus of your 2 league games, and you've shown that there's a togetherness, a good character in the squad.
Yeah, and that's the first thing I've tried to to implement into the team. It was obvious I was trying to do it that last year, but definitely it's about the team. Players have to be playing in the manner I want them to play in. There's no grey areas. They have to be doing what we're asking them to do. They're all buying into it. They're working hard, a real, honest, good group of people. But that doesn't get you results. We've got to add things that we spoke about this morning into tomorrow's game. But there is a real togetherness. And we need that from absolutely everybody. Absolutely everybody. You've got to look at the bigger picture. Connor Reedon, for example, can find himself unlucky not to be in the team. Really unlucky. I had a little word with him this morning. But I said to him, what would John Terry do? You just got to train well and wait for your time, if that comes tomorrow. But there is a real togetherness which helps, particularly in this division. I think we've got some outstanding footballers, and I think we'll get better as time goes on. I really do.
One aspect of your management reign and role that we've seen early this season is that you're not frightened to change your system, you're not frightened to change your personnel. But the big positive in there is that the players seem as though they're taking all that on as well.
Well, they've got to take the information on. There isn't much between the squad, and that's us being honest. The players, I think, can appreciate that. So we can make changes for a number of reasons. To rest players, we're going to pick teams that we think are best suited to winning that individual game, treating every game on its merit. And the players that are waiting need to know the information. They need to know what they're doing as set players. They need to know tactically exactly what they're doing. They need to know what they're doing without the ball. And we just keep giving them that nudge. In terms of making sure everyone's in the meetings, so everyone gets the information. Because, like I said, it's nip and tuck in a lot of places in the team. It's nip and tuck. Some have got the shirt at the minute and have got to keep hold of it. Some have got the shirt and got to do better than what they're doing.
Yeah, I suppose after Sunderland, you said you were left for a few days before you played at Swindon with a few selection headaches. And Ryan Dickham mentioned that as well. You talked about, you know, possibilities of whatever you might want to change. I suppose after Saturday as well, having come back strongly and finished the game strongly, you've got another few selection headache problems.
Yeah, and again, it's good to have, isn't it, for the manager? But I think that goes back to the players being, you know, there's not a lot within the group in certain areas of the pitch. In terms of being able to flip formation, we like 4-3-3. You know, we've done a lot of work on it. We also have the players that can fit into to a 3 at the back pretty easily, seamlessly. We can do that from the formation we're playing, like we did. I know we changed one, Connor, but we can do that quite easily with the players we have when we play a back 4. If it's Zach from left back, he can just tuck back one quite easily. So they've got to be adaptable. We went to a 4-4-2 for the last 10-15 minutes so just to slow the game down, stop them getting in them little pockets outside the midfield players, just to slow the game down a little bit. So they have to be adaptable, and we're giving them a lot of information, more information than they've probably had last season, for example. And they've got to take that on board and be brave to do it. There's certain things that put people in awkward positions on a pitch. They've got to go out there and execute it, because, for instance, there was one on Saturday we asked the players to do, and it didn't come out once. Now, I get it, for various reasons. But like I say, the players are taking on the information and working extremely hard.
You're getting ready, as you already mentioned, for 2 home games that are coming up. You had an excellent home record last season. You started off with an encouraging home performance against Mansfield. How important is, we all talk about want to make it fortress home grounds. How important do you feel it is, at home to keep those results going?
It's key to your season, I believe. Obviously, you've got more fans there who want to see the progress you're making. The obvious one for us is our away, our home form. If we take that home form again and improve away from home, things can look differently. You have to have a little bit of luck along the way, but we want to continue from last year. But last year's results don't get you results this year. We've got to go out there and do it against the team who got an excellent result at the weekend and played really well. I've watched them. The association get with Newport, they play some good football, high energetic. We're in for a real tough game. But we want to put on performances at home, particularly at home, and then see if we can tinker with away results. Yeah,
they sent out Charlton out of the Carabao Cup as well, and followed that up against Doncaster. He's got a much changed team, Graham Coughlin. Looking at him, he's changed it around quite a bit in the summer.
Yeah, he's had a turnaround of players for various reasons. Good manager. But I watched them against Doncaster. I thought they were excellent. I really do. They were way too much at times in the game. Like I said, they get associated with certain things. Newport through, that's just years of general thing. They played some really good football, and looked to get in behind at every opportunity they had from runners. So it's going to be a really, really tough game.
We're coming to the middle of the month of the transfer window. Dave Richards, long-serving person here, well respected and well liked, taking the chance to go to Scotland. And does that help you as well and help him, that you can do some business yourself?
Well, first of all, we wanted to help Dave to get him the best club we could get him. And with his agent was good for him. He actually fell out with me, his agent, which I think is brilliant. It shows he's trying to work hard for the player, and he's got himself a really good loan. What he's got to do is go, and he's been in good form over pre-season in terms of training. He's got to go there and stamp his authority to look to push for number 1. In terms of that helping us, no, not at the minute. It doesn't with the regain we've got, but we are. I know what way you're alluding to go to. We are looking in the background for players. We've obviously told a couple that they can go out on loan. If that happens, it might free up something for us to do. But if the players don't go, we're going to have to utilise everybody we've got.